This is a really nice, fun game. Wrong switch. Wrong switch. Wrong switch.
This goes
wrong
beyond
switch.
Mixels.
It does. It goes. It's. What's it called?
That's like...
There's a term for it when you like mixed media. It's mixed media.
Yeah, you have low resolution JPEGs and shitty Mixel pixel art.
Mixel Pixel. Is that the game theory guy?
Mixel pixel.
That does sound like a good YouTube channel name, though. Hey guys, we are Mixel Pixel here. We're gonna be mixing all these pixels,
Arena trap.
and we're gonna figure out what pixel is the best pixel to mixel. So let's get into it.
Pixel sound like he does nothing but chug beer all day.
That's what I imagine. Like people that do mixels are like. They don't care about it. They just do it.
Hey guys, it's Mixel Pixel here, chugging beers and coming up with gaming ideas.
They just throw shit at the wall and
Did
see what they can do.
Trio just drop a $20 bill.
I know. I love that. Like, of all of them, like drop money.
That's just an idea, a Mixel Pixel idea.
That's an idea.
This is such a fun one guy type of thing. Wrong switch, wrong switch. Oh my god, there's so many wrong switches. Gregory, leave me alone.
I'm broke. I can't teach stomping.
Regularly?
Regularly.
I can't talk. This is what happens when I get tired.
I like that. We should say that from now on. That's a good one. Did he also really piss you off when you tried talking to Brock and he told you he didn't want to battle you?
Yeah, I'm so mad. Grr.
My veins are literally popping out my neck right now. I'm grinding my teeth into oblivion and like clutching my mouse really tight.
I'm clutching my
Oh, that's what
mouse.
that's for. It's for digging on.
What's for digging on?
Those little cracks in the ground.
Does
Oh,
it do if you dig on them?
It like gives items.
oh, it's like
I don't like
So-
items.
yeah, it's giving free stuff.
Okay, well, fuck you.
Wrong
I don't
switch.
like items is going to be one of the stupidest things I've said in a while. Alright. Polywag. I hate Polywag.
All right, now I have to
should kill
find the
itself.
other switch. Mismatch. Okay. All right, now I gotta figure the other one. This one? Mismatch. Okay. Pick this one. All right. Is it this
Also,
one?
Might be
Poke
running
Spot-
Great balls.
Yeah, it does seem to be
Mismatch.
random then.
That's really stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
We should not support this game anymore.
This game is problematic media.
Yeah,
Well, why don't you
I've been
cry
thinking
for
that
me?
for a while. I'm just glad you finally vocalized it. I was thinking that the whole time.
I do find it funny how like that song, that meme, got people into the original song again.
Want to cry for me?
Yeah. I never had heard of it. I never heard of it before, and then like I'm like, yeah, no, this is not that bad.
I already hate this game.
At least it doesn't have sturdy. That much, at least. That was a bane of my soul for Pokemon.
Jeff
But if
Bobby?
you had the Quick Claw,
There we go. All right, Lieutenant
What's wrong for
Surge.
live wires?
I am about
Why
to
did a
battle
chef
you.
say that? Doesn't feel like what a chef would say at all.
very
Depe-
unchef-like of you.
Depends on the
Yeah.
chef.
Fucking fake chef behavior.
You never know. He
Fake
might
chef.
actually be he might be a electrician on his offhand.
He might be asserting his dominance. Is that what you're gonna say?
No.
Oh. Can it be what you're gonna say?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Stunfisk. Ew.
She stung on my fist till I...
Till I shock.
Stunfisk if it was awesome. She stun on my Fisk until I Big Mac sauce.
Tell you what?
I like Stunfisk's cry. It sounds like a wet fart.
It does. So
It kinda
good.
does.
I think it's supposed to be like a whoopee
Do you
cushion.
think Stunfisk would like getting hit with stomping tantrum?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would.
Sure
it would
did.
find. It would find pleasure in it.
Sunfisk is into BDSM.
Yep.
I don't think it's a tantrum when you're doing it for BDSM reasons.
Oh, it's like
Shouldn't
a, it's
be.
like, it's like a play.
Yeah, it's like a
thing.
role play. Yeah.
The wild Pokemon in this area suck.
I got
What?
paralyzed by Lick.
Tennisers, what are your Mon? You have a Voltorb and a Elekid.
His team is really bad.
Like, what the hell is this? Like, he used to have a
They just crushed
Raichu.
Gym Leader.
Like, alright, what is your third one now? Alright,
They need
Raichu. Okay, yeah, at least you have the Raichu. I respect that.
This is the big bad guy that we're worried about.
Yeah, I know. It's like really. Which one?
I need to find something to replace Ariados with, because I don't want to use this forever. It's kind of shit.
Alright, well, you're using Dig, so I'm gonna swap out. Magnemite. Or Magneton, I mean, not Magnemite. Oh, wait, I forgot that Ground is super effective against that. Oops. Whoa, Grand Bull.
Level 34. Have you got a Blastoise yet?
Not quite. It's gonna evolve really soon though.
Yeah, Charmeleon is about to evolve to the next level. I'm happy. I don't know why I'm using this. Alright, let's move to use and then we should be good.
Right? That's nice.
Brah!
We're gonna thief.
We're switching.
Okay, now I have a Blastoise.
Nice.
Tail Smash. This is a good water type move from my card.
Yeah, yeah.
It is. Very good water move.
Great fire type move.
Great sound type move.
People get so pressed when you add sound type to a fan game. It's
I don't-
funny.
See, I don't mind sound type being a thing. I just wish, at least in the official games, they made it more specified. Like, at least with Pokemon Champions, they started doing that. They made it, like, actually, like, have an icon and such. But I wish they brought that to the main game in some way and, like, specify that information.
I've seen people who just get really pissed off when you add sound type.
Yo, my fur is learning rest. This is really good. I'll get rid of.
What's
quick
3
attack for
Pokemon that you would make sound type if sound type existed?
The
Exploud.
Whismur line, the Meloetta line, or not a line, but Meloetta is both forms.
Snorlax maybe. Jigglypuff.
Okay.
Yeah, Jigglypuff would be a good one.
about,
Audino.
I didn't know
What
it would
about
work.
What
Yeah.
about Rug and Roller?
What is that sound?
Sorta, because the smaller one is a
We're
big
talking
ear.
about the sound type being a thing crazy. That's what we're discussing right now.
Alright,
What
so the
about
first.
Gold Duck.
No.
I actually hold on.
Maybe
I was
Driftwood?
working on a fan game that had the sound type added to it. Let me look at what Pokemon I made sound type.
Nice. I'm trying to think.
Really
Gen
quick.
2. I would maybe make
Okay,
Celebi.
Trubbish though, right?
No.
Why the
Celebi.
heck would that be sound type?
I don't think
Celebi,
you guys take
I
this
would.
conversation very seriously. I'm done with this.
Yeah, like Celebi, I would maybe make sound type. I feel like
Sorry.
that makes a
Um,
lot of sense for some reason. I
Okay,
don't
let
know
me
why.
ignore the fan made Pokemon I have.
I'm gonna replace.
Alright, I'm in
Ariados
Diglett
with
Cave. Where are you
Butterfree
guys
for
at,
now, just 'cause
actually,
it's better.
at this point?
Butterfree.
Where are you guys in the game?
We're going to the route on the right of Vermilion City.
Well, I know that, but like, Where? I'm in Diglett Cave right now.
Well, I did Diglett Cave. I'm just going to the route on the right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, in my fan game, there are no Pokemon that are sound type that aren't like custom.
Ah, okay.
But I have a
Custom
Parato.
Pokemon?
I have a Parato Pokemon that's sound type.
Oh, Chatot. Chatot sound type.
Yeah, Chatot would be
Chatot?
good.
Crazy said Chatot like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, I didn't
Disrespect.
see that. I didn't see that. Sorry. I have it on my monitor
have
on my right, so I wasn't even looking at it.
I have a Sprunky Pokemon that's sound type.
My game
Post
just
the
crashed?
gift, Danny.
Oh no, I just off glitch.
It was
This
a
is gonna be
shit
okay,
post fan
Crazy.
game.
This
It's
is
not a
gonna be
very
alright.
serious one.
I think what other Pokemon would be a good sound type.
Someone in my stream the other day, I don't know what stream it was now, mentioned Pokemon Unbound, and I just imagined Danny popping off.
Why?
Unbound's good.
You love Unbound.
No,
I mean,
they're
it's not bad.
they're like uranium.
What? We have
Uranium
a whole
is-
discussion. Oh, it's uranium.
was
that you
the one
like.
I don't shut the fuck up about. Yeah.
This is a different thing that starts with a U. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Who gives a fuck about Unbound then? Not me.
Unbound's actually a really good game.
Yeah, Unbound's great.
I don't give two shits about it unless Danny says it's good.
I
'cause
sent
just
the
go
I
do
sent
whatever
the
Danny
GIF in
says.
Twitch chat.
Hey guys, click that link.
Okay. Diglett's Cave.
Are you still fighting the trainers on that route, or are you going back up to go to Celadon?
Who is you?
Jitch.
You.
I am still fighting the trainers.
Oh, that's a big
Because
ass
I'm clearing
tree.
out this route before I go back up to Cerulean. There it is!
What?
There it is!
What?
There it
What?
is!
Yeah,
There it
what? Where is
There
it?
it is!
What?
There it is.
There it is!
Huh?
There it is, dude!
Oh my god.
This is a really long sound.
I
Let's
think
fucking
it's kind of funnier
go.
that way. Where is what
There it is! There it is! There it is!
Don't
it's
you
like
see
the
it?
perfect way to like wake me up when I'm like really sleepy.
Wake
I'm
me
like,
up
"Huh?
inside."
There's a shiny Poliwag.
What's with
What
this
is
shiny
this
Poliwag bit, dude?
I don't get this bit.
What's this shiny Poliwag shit you keep
Did this
talking
happen to
about?
someone or something? Like, what is this? Is it like a meme somewhere?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
What's this funny
What's
joke
up
that you
with
keep
this
talking
shit? I don't
about?
understand.
And I know you will trade your Abra for my Mr. Mime. Oh man, that's an interesting trade.
Roaring out my war total the instance I sent it out. It's really cool.
Voring?
Yeah, Vor.
Ew,
This
why are you
girl just
voring?
went, "Oh," and no, I don't have a war total.
Yo, a
This girl
Scyther.
has a big nasty belly.
What are you saying?
You're
Bro.
the one that said boring. I just went with it.
Yo, I
Because
found a
it's
Silcoon.
boring to just go no.
I suppose.
See what happens when you just
I
say
just
no?
killed it by accident.
5 seconds of silence.
I was contemplating.
I was, yeah.
What if the words masturbating and contemplating were swapped?
Not
It
like
makes me
that.
masturbate.
Yeah, I gotta masturbate on that.
I'm masturbating this concept.
Ay, ay. Well, I am all the way back in Viridian City.
Remember when Pee Wee Herman got like in trouble for public contemplation at a movie theater?
Yeah, you shouldn't do that in public, to be fair.
You
To
shouldn't
be
be
fair,
contemplating.
from what I recall, it was not a not accepted thing. It's just the media blew it up because he was a celebrity, if I recall.
Oh, so it's fine to go contemplate in a movie theater?
Oh,
It wasn't a movie theater. It was a adult movie theater for watching adult
Do I
films.
stretch everybody else too, or just me? How does that work?
What, Jitch?
Well, Crazy redeemed Stretchy Jitch, but there's other people in the stream. So do I just stretch myself, or does everyone have to be stretched?
Good question.
I mean, I'm stretched normally, so.
Because I can. You're joking?
I like how that's what you got out of that.
Well, how else do you stretch?
I have my legs up on a
Maybe he's got
couch,
big
and I
old
have it
gate,
stretched
is what he
out.
means.
Jelking your legs?
Yeah, yes, I'm trying to get longer.
Can you stretch everyone and stack each other up the wide way? Okay.
Stack each other up.
The wide
Let me know if I
way?
understand this
Ball.
correctly. Let me know if this is wrong. Let me know if this is wrong. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna try this real quick.
Hold on, I gotta tab into Jitch's stream for this shit.
The wide way?
I have to watch this.
Let me see what you are doing over there on your
I
locational.
feel like I need to be at the bottom because I'm the one that's like shoulders up. That would look less awkward
Let's see.
because you wouldn't
That's
see
not
my
true.
body get cut off. Yeah.
Alright, let's see. I'm opening it up.
Yeah, you are making a totem pole.
Did I do it right? Is that right? Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, good. It'll
Alright,
stay
let's
like
see.
that until I remember to put it back as usual. So.
Oh my god, that is amazing.
New streamer layout just dropped.
Will you be
I am
showing
compressing
your,
you.
I hope you've been showing your pussy tonight, baby, because I will be wanking my cock.
I love the way he declares that last bit in there.
I'm
Really
Because
well.
I will
Come
be
on.
wanking my cock.
My cock.
You can just imagine him like being like one of those guys that puts their index finger in the air as he says it.
He does the thing that like Bakshin does.
Machine, machine, machine.
Yeah, with his
You know what I'm
eyes
talking
closed
about?
and a big smile. Well, Bakshin does a lot of things, so you might need to be a bit
Hold
more
on.
specific.
Yeah, be a little more precise, won't ya?
Yeah, this shit. He's doing like this.
Yeah. Show your pussy tonight because I'll be wanking my cock.
Show your
Won't you?
pussy tonight, honey.
Oh, let's see.
I'll be
Yes, that
wanking
is
her.
exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, that kind of pose. Yeah.
Bum, bum, ba, dum, ba, dum, ba, dum,
He gets
bum.
his armpit licked, dude. Imagine.
What?
Yummy. What? I can't even say that with a straight face.
Oh, it's
Fuck, that makes me disgusted now at myself for saying that.
When you think about it, though, armpits are kind of cool.
Sweat is just piss, but this is a different type.
I wasn't talking about sweat. I was just talking about a body part.
Yeah, where
What are
does
we?
come out-
What is
what
this
comes out of that?
conversation?
I don't know. It's just a conversation.
You guys are too weak for this, I guess.
I'm not
just,
weak.
I'm not. It's just confusing.
It's not
Arm
weak. I'm just,
piss.
I know
No,
it's
I
it,
don't-
no, it's
no.
literally though. Your armpit, like your sweat, is the
I'm
same
not
exact
talking about
chemicals.
sweat.
But that's what your armpits are. Your armpits are sweat machines.
That's not all they are, dude. There's so much more to it. You just don't understand.
You don't get the nuance.
I don't get the stench of it.
Listen, I didn't either, and then I did.
Next, you're gonna say you like feet too.
Nah,
I
I'm not
do.
there yet. Okay.
Damn. Well,
I guess
we're
I'm
gonna have to
there
end
now.
this.
Danny normally influences me, so we'll see. Give it time. He'll send me a funny picture or two, and I'll go. Oh, actually, I get it now.
I'm gonna poison my Twitter timeline with feet, and then it'll work.
Probably.
To be fair, there is good armpit art, but normal armpits are not good. That is
That's
the,
you.
Waved into Bloistois.
The main thing is like every armpit art you see has no hair. Most people have armpit hair.
You
Just
haven't lived
shave
until you
it.
licked an armpit once. Just saying.
What? Yeah, what?
Crit mirror shot? Okay, man. Sure.
Holy fuck! Blastoise is actually big. I was expecting him to be really tiny.
Yeah, Blastoise actually looks correct.
I mean, his face looks terrible when he's front facing, but
Yo,
other than
Pokestop,
that, it
what
looks
are you
good.
doing up here? Give me something.
Wait until I have the right badge to pass this area. That's so fucking meta breaking, dude. What?
This whole game is meta breaking.
What if this was your first time ever playing and you didn't know what they meant by right badge?
That people definitely have played this for the first
You
time
go
because
on-
they're
You go on the me bus and you're like, guys, what is the right badge?
It's the badge to your right. That's it. Gamer Hugo. They changed it to Gamer, not Gambler.
Hugo Gaming.
Oh, that's the rival to
The Venusaur Overlord sprite.
Mixel Pixel. Can't remember what it was.
Yo, two guys, we're here. We're gonna do some Mixel Pixel. I got my collabing here with Gamer Hugo. Gonna be a good time. Good time.
Well, his fuck, what's his name? Fat Albert. Why is Fat Albert here?
You can't say that when I'm taking a drink.
It just sounded like Fat Albert when you were just doing it.
I was trying to do the InfoWars guy. Like,
We're out here taking a
Oh,
we're gonna take
no
down
idea.
those pixels. We're gonna bring them down, destroy the world, turn into freaking Polyworld's gay.
he does the same. It's the same sort of thing in a way. I mean, I could sort of do a Fat Albert.
Hey, Fat Albert, today we're gonna get on down to the
Your
town.
mic is peaking so much.
Oh,
Did anyone
I
notice
can't.
that that's the same voice he was doing for Alex Jones?
Well, no, I have.
Basically.
It's the same deepness. It's just it's a different tonal
Reminds
reality.
me of that one time when people were telling me to do like better voices for Mario because I would voice Bowser like this and I would voice Peach like this, and they were like, "You need to put more effort into it," and I'd be like, "Okay." So anyway, here, this is my new voice for Bowser. Oh, I see you got the Thunder Badge.
This is me, Bowser.
Who you're talking to is in another Pokestop.
No, I'm now up on the route to the right of Cerulean City.
Oh, I'm still clearing out this route.
How the fuck did I get ahead of you?
I was
happens.
DMing Jordy about shit.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna send me some funny pictures, but you didn't, and I'm fucking punching the air.
I'm all pissed
Wait
off.
till later, man.
Why do you get funny
later?
pictures? I don't.
Okay.
Actually, I might have some on my phone. Hold on.
Send me something really iFunny related. I want to see a real iFunny.
I funny.
Okay.
More
here.
like you, lazy. Ha 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 ha.
Dude, what the fuck?
What? What the thing Alizarin just said?
That's really bad, Alizarin.
That was
Lazy.
that was even that was the random voice I was doing.
Wait, what is this she said?
You said you wanted something from iFunny, so I sent you something from iFunny.
Okay. What were you gonna send me before I said that?
I was gonna look for some feet
Uh,
on my phone.
You just have feet on your phone?
I'm sure I do somewhere.
Kind of awesome.
I have to. I'm just gonna
You want-
scroll all the way to the bottom of my
Hey,
camera roll.
You guys remember Pokemon and the feetsies?
Yeah. I don't like when you
do.
phrase it like that, though.
I don't. You love feetsies. It seems like.
Why you gotta make it weird, man?
That makes it weird.
Yeah. I like when you pre-prepare for a hiker by putting your Blastoise in front, so he sends out a Machamp. That's a Machoke, not a Machamp.
Oh, I'm battling Gamer Dick.
Gamer Dick? Have you seen
Yeah.
one of those before?
Yeah, they're pretty dirty.
Gamer D.
What's the
It did-
first thing that comes to mind when you hear the phrase Gamer Dick?
I think of Dr. Disrespect.
Okay, what are you doing?
Gamer, I don't know.
What's Pro Jared for me?
DSP.
DSP.
Yup, that's a good one. When I think of Pro
Well, you
Jared,
never
I
actually
don't...
saw DSP's dick, right?
No, you only just saw his face in Orgasm.
Crazy just thinks about big ad there, okay?
You know, I met, well, I didn't meet him. I was in proximity of AlizarinRed at too many games.
Yeah.
He's tall as fuck. And he has a very
He looks
big
like he would
nose.
be. Alright.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Weird thing to point out, my Alizarin is problematic. Don't do that.
But it was
Alizarin is
literal.
actually problematic media.
It's literal though. Like he was a foot tall above everyone else, and I just see his head, and I see his nose. I'm like, oh, that's ProJared because it's the ProJared line. Yeah, that's him. That is a factual detail.
You can always count on Ryan and Crazy to bring up wrestling. You guys, you fucking guys.
Who's fucking guys right now? Can I join
Not
in?
me, unfortunately.
I have to get the
Okay,
right
I
badge.
dug around my camera roll and
I'm
found
actually
some
not
stuff.
into men, to be honest.
Jitch.
Yeah.
I dug around on my camera roll.
I'm sorry, you're like losing time in Pokemon. You're like falling more and more behind to do this.
Feet
Yeah,
are
but I
important,
sent
apparently.
funny stuff, so it's okay.
I just noticed the totem pole and I went to fix it and I thought, now that can stay for a bit longer.
Let's see, what feet do you have
Yes.
today? I see no feet. You lie.
I don't think he was gonna. I don't know if he's gonna put that in the group chat or not. I have no
It's
idea.
literally
Hold
just
on.
the three of us. It's not like no one else.
Just the three of us.
Let me move it to the group chat.
Meow, 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 meow.
All right. Well, I did everything on the right
Question
route.
mark,
Now
what does that
where
mean?
do we go?
My phone is having a stroke trying to forward
I'm gonna
this
try
message.
finding 3 things here. Forward it.
Forward.
Oh, because it hadn't
Onward.
finished sending yet. That's why it was having so much
Yeah, I was gonna
trouble.
say,
There
I
you
didn't
go.
even receive it in the first place.
There.
Let's have a look.
That's some
Okay,
shit
give
I
me a
found
minute,
on my
chat.
phone.
I gotta look at this stuff that he sent. Okay, first of all, this
Let's
first
see.
one has nothing to do with what you were just talking about, so that's interesting.
I just sent random garbage. I didn't send anything specific.
Okay, okay.
All right. So we got those. You got
Second one's actually really funny.
third one is interesting.
Okay. That one's really good. Okay.
I
I'm
appreciate the
only in fourth
Teto.
one. Yeah, that's good. I don't.
I
really
do
like
not like the pig.
They don't like special week lobotomy very much.
Oh, I like that one actually.
What, the special week lobotomy?
Yeah, that one's
He
good.
really likes that one.
That was my
That's another
favorite.
thing he's really into.
I like lobotomy core.
Okay, I'll tell you this though. The third one is very good. Oh, I didn't mean to zoom in on it. Whoops.
What's the big one where they're really
I
big?
can't. Yeah, I cannot bring any of those up on stream though. Sorry, chat.
Yep,
You
they're
could probably bring the big one on the stream.
or the lobotomy one.
I'm
Lobotomy.
not-
No,
I'm
not the
not
big one. The
risking
big
it.
one definitely is not. No, that's too risque.
SpongeBob Big Pants is not getting put on stream. Sorry.
Big
Look
guy.
at Bryce. Hey, you
Big
finally
guy.
made the cut. Bryce is here,
SpongeBob,
guys.
big guy pants. Big guy, sponge guy pants.
That song is atrocious.
It is. It's so bad. It's why it's a Siva Gunner like meme right now.
I didn't even know it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just, it pops up and people are like memeing it and like, oh my god, what the sucks. And then it's
Someone
like,
joined the club, crazy. Why?
I was telling that person to join the club. I said, hey, you gotta join the club because you're playing Uma Musume a little teeny tiny bit, so get in the fucking club.
get in my ass.
And he was like, okay. Danny was a witness. That was basically how that
Why
conversation
is my
went.
mom calling me? Hold on.
Mother's calling.
Danny, come get your dinner, Danny.
Go to the bathroom, Danny.
Surprised
You're
someone
shitting
joined.
yourself.
Yeah, well, it's another person we know. We still haven't had any like unknowns join yet, but maybe one day.
Unknown joining what? I'm missing something.
Uma Musume talk.
Oh, okay.
My chat like talking about Uma Musume, so that happens.
Yeah, it's fine. I just missed out the
Okay.
context. It do be happening. Alicia has a gloom.
And wrestling, yeah, but I don't really engage in the wrestling one. You guys just bring it up, and I just kind of like I
Slowly
do like
nod.
a dreamy. So I go, ah.
Yeah, yeah. I remember the good old days.
I remember caring about wrestling. Oh. I remember when I had no time for any other interests or hobbies because I devoted it all to something I didn't even enjoy. Ah.
More likely than you think.
Yeah,
I found the image that made you like Inari 1.
the moment that I became a fan.
Yeah, I found that image again.
That's an awesome image.
Hey, let me see if I can send you an image that I have downloaded on my
That's
PC.
still awesome to this day.
I like the other image I sent.
Let's see.
How's the other one?
You are
Turns into a dirt potato and rolls away.
Yeah, I like that image.
I like that too.
Here, you can have this. I found this on my
So Ryan, did you say that
My
you can't
PC.
just blindly go into the cave? It like doesn't let you until you get flash.
That's stupid. They probably didn't code Flash into the game, so it
No,
just
I
doesn't
got-
let you in.
No, I got Flash from the
Okay.
guy. You have to
No, I'm
talk to the
saying
researcher.
you can't
Lines
go
then.
into the cave without Flash because Flash
Oh,
itself
okay.
doesn't do anything in the overworld.
Fair enough.
Let me see if you actually need to use flash.
Well, no.
So where do you get
Oh
Flash
no, you
from?
have to use
You,
flash.
you get it not where you normally do, which is the guy after Diglett Cave in the building.
Okay.
They did program flash in, by the way, Danny. They did. They just locked.
They
it
don't
so
let
you can't
they
go
don't
through.
let you go in without it. I
It
guess.
also you can get the flashlight item in the bag or in the shop. If you don't want to do that.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
want to spend real life sponduli.
Instead of
on it.
teaching you Flash to a mon. Alright, swap mons. I just realized I'm like letting my mons die and I'm not even really noticing. I'm just pressing buttons.
All right, I've cleared out this route. I'm gonna go over to the Cerulean again.
Brian, I say this with all the love and appreciation for you in my heart, but you willingly listen to Jim Cornette's podcast. You have to like wrestling.
I don't know who that is.
You're better off not.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sorry, Ryan, but
He sounds like an old country guy that is like a little racist.
he was an old like manager, like TV manager. He'd like be in the corner of a lot of like the heels,
Okay.
and he has an opinion on like literally everything, and he will not shut the fuck up about anything.
down
'cause
to
it's
about a
podcast,
clip
so
a week.
naturally.
That sounds accurate. Ay. Roselia, what are you doing today?
Now, Deadlock, I understand. You don't even have to like wrestling to listen to Deadlock. They're just funny people. I understand. That's fair.
So how about that
Not even
Jake Paul?
intelligent if they like wrestling. No.
Jake Paul's my favorite wrestler.
Actually, hold on. I do have to say one thing actually regarding the Paul. Logan Paul did something really awesome recently.
What is that?
He broke his ankle and he's not on WTV anymore because of it. So
Yay.
it's pretty cool.
That's cool. He took one for the team.
Yippee!
I'm really proud of him for finally doing something cool. I might have got his injury wrong, but oh fuck, it's Ash again? Oh shit.
Ah, fuck, Ash is here.
I'm gonna kick his ass this time. I'm gonna kick his ash.
Ah,
Ha ha ha.
Oh, he tore his tricep. Yeah, I didn't even remember what the injury was, but good riddance.
Wait, which one was the guy that got his like face knocked in?
Jake
I
Paul.
could- Is that Jake Paul? Is that the same guy that's a wrestler? Okay.
Jake Paul's
that-
a boxer.
Oh, he's a boxer. Yeah, see, I can't tell them apart, to be honest.
Is
They're
it
both
Jake
Really
Paul?
douchebags.
watched the movie,
They're both
so
Pauls,
that's
they're
how
both
I
douchebags.
saw way more Logan Paul than I wanted to see.
Like, it's just like the biggest douchebags around.
That group is cursed as fuck. That group is shit as fuck, Ryan. 20 to level 36. Oh yeah, does the Pony of Terror evolve like level 42 or some shit? I was wondering why it hasn't become a Rapidash yet, but I think it's because it has to get to like 40 something. I think it's 42.
I'm making this
does
Gloom
sound
my
right.
HM slave.
No, not the poor Gloom. I love Gloom.
Well, I have a Breloom instead, so.
Yeah, Ryan, I like Breaker and I kind of like Reed, but like that group blows. It's always sucked since day one.
Wow.
The
I got a
regroups are so
super
fucking
effective
boring.
move from Onyx, and it barely did anything.
I should probably start with this because it'll probably open
Onyx
Onyx is
you.
weak as heck.
Yeah, Onyx is so
I did
piss
see.
poor.
Wait, what? Do I have to go back to Viridian Forest and actually beat Ash?
Maybe? I don't
I'll
know.
do it. I spoke to him and he was like, "You didn't see me in Viridian Forest training my Pikachu. Shame." And he won't do anything else because of that. So I think you have to beat him if you want to beat him in the other places he shows up.
Yeah, I did that already, so I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm the only person that lost to him.
Damn, you suck.
Yeah, I sure do.
You lost to a protagonist. I thought you said that. I don't know. I only got 2 mons left. I'm probably gonna die from this fight.
I'll quickly do a detour and go back through Diglett's cave and try to fight Ash in the forest.
Oh wait, go this way.
Fucking put my Nidoking to sleep, you bitch.
Brittany, bitch.
Why don't you use Stomping Tantrum on it? Oh, it worked, I guess. Never mind. Also, how the fuck did it use Stomping Tantrum whilst asleep? What?
It can happen.
Wait, what?
I believe that is a move that can work in sleep, I think. I remember there's some moves that do that. Let me look.
During
real
my
quick.
frustration, the user attacks the target. If the user's previous move has failed, the power of this move doubles.
Let me look real quick.
What?
What's up? What moves?
I think the status in the game just didn't update on screen. I think it's just not asleep anymore. I used Stomping Tantrum whilst my Nidoking was asleep, and it said that it hit, but I don't think it said that he woke up. It still had the sleep status on screen. Yeah. Everybody give me shit for losing the ass ketchup. I don't care. Whatever. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ketchup. What about ass mustard? Mustard! Remember that
Ketchup!
meme, guys?
I do remember that meme. I never partook in it, but I thought it was funny.
I took part of it. Because I like Kendrick.
Did they like paywall the bicycle in this game or something?
No,
They
it's,
might have.
I saw there was some way to get it. There was like a dude I saw that you have to, like a bike voucher dude or something like that. But he didn't give it to me, so I was like, okay, whatever.
Have the mustard, the one where you ride the giant bottle of mustard.
That's sick. Bum 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 ba ba ba. Water gun. I really like some of the moves where it's just like a weird ass asset they're using for the water and fire. I'm pretty sure they're like RPG Maker like effects and not like Pokemon.
Robot.
Whoa, you're going robot.
Whoa,
Why
you
did I
good,
go
Jitch?
robot? What
Are
the
you
fuck?
okay? You good?
Jits, are you underwater? Are you drowning?
What's wrong with your microphone?
Jits is turning into a robot. He's
Jitch is
drowning.
dying.
So I had to restart my engine.
He's
oh,
mid-evolution.
Gramble is wanting to learn Last Resort.
I've never had that happen like mid anything before. Fucking
I don't
voice
wanna do
meter is
that.
kind of ass. I wish there was a good alternative.
Rage.
You have equalizer, AP. What do you use voice meter for?
Just making my microphone not sound like ass.
Just use like equalizer, APO, or something.
I
Yeah,
don't know what that
I'm
is,
using
but
voice
okay.
meter. I don't really run into that issue, I don't think.
It's
I
because
just
of-
like equalizer,
it's a
APO because
combination
it
I don't
doesn't.
like over, actually.
I prefer equalizer APO because it doesn't make a separate audio device. It just modifies the actual microphone audio device.
That sounds good. I would like that. How do I get
All right,
that? Where do I
here
get
we
that?
are.
We can do that off stream later.
Okay.
We're not doing it right now. It's a whole thing.
Please?
Please, maybe.
No, that would take a long time. That's fine. But no, I would prefer that because this microphone, by default, sounds really bad, and I think Voice Meter manages to make it sound pretty damn good.
Alright, what does this say?
Yeah.
Rock Tunnel time. Did you guys do Rock Tunnel yet? Oh my
No.
god, the music. It's here, goo.
They use the same cave music again.
Yeah.
Why? Who is like really into that song that made this game?
I just raw dog my microphone. I think it sounds okay, Doc.
My microphone sounds fucking terrible without this.
I mean,
I
don't
would hope
really,
my microphone sounds good at stock because it was a really expensive microphone.
I mean, I don't really modify it. I just use it so I can loop audio through stuff.
There's
I
better
literally don't
virtual
use, like,
audio
any
cable
of this shit.
solutions.
I
Probably,
literally
but
don't
I'm
use
like,
any of
I'm
the
kind of
shit the Voice
lazy.
Meter is intended for. I just use it to make my microphone sound better. I don't care about any of the other features.
What? Who should I teach Flash to? God damn it.
That's why I got
Ash.
that HM Slave Gloom.
I know, but I have
This
a good
Ash
team, and I
dickhead is
don't
about
know
to
what
get
to do.
fucking annihilated.
Because I got a
Breloom
Magnum.
is fully paralyzed.
I guess I'll do Magnemite, and I'll get rid of Spark. All right, now how do I activate? How do I activate it?
Your Breloom is getting fucking
Oh,
murdered.
you literally just click on the move in the item. Okay, that's weird. Well, I have dig, so let me
Alright.
do some digging. Well, or do I just? Oh, I just click on it. Okay. Yeah, found
Which
something in the
team
mud.
member do I waste a spot
Electric
on
gem.
Flash for?
Electric gem. Okay, cool. So you guys are there? You're past the dark cave or before it?
I haven't
No.
gotten to it yet.
I
Oh,
didn't
wow.
I'm
go
on my
in
way
yet.
there.
I somehow am ahead of you guys. Okay.
What, are you already through the
Just-
cave?
No, I'm in it. I just got into it.
You must have
But-
skipped some trainers somewhere.
I know. I mean, maybe the top part of that route, maybe, but I just went through the normal way.
Did you do all the trainers down by Vermilion, like to the right of Vermilion?
I did half of them, maybe.
I did
That's fair.
all of them.
Yeah, I did all of them. That's why you managed to overtake us. Skipping content. SMH.
I mean, I'm equal level in the area I'm in, so I'm like, there's a
I'm
trainer
level
levels.
38.
I'm 32,
Alright, if Alizarin
35.
ends up getting stuck on the next gym or like rocket area, remember this moment.
I'm only 3 levels under you guys, so it's not that bad.
Remember this moment for when that happens.
Actually, I'm 36 now. My
And he's
term
really
alien.
angry that we're somehow ahead of him again.
So I'm only
Remember,
2
this is
levels.
why.
So I'm doing good.
I love sand attack.
I love Vileplume. Oh wait, I can't say that anymore. Never mind. Ignore that.
Say what?
You
Nothing.
think Pikachu will be a good mascot for Little Caesars? What?
Nah.
I gotta go
I think
pee.
there's
I'll be
better
back.
options. This
Okay,
guy
P.
pisses so much.
Dude, they get
Baby
mad at me.
bladder.
They get mad at me at work because I pee like 5 times in a 6-hour shift.
Go to the bathroom and take a piss.
I can smell you.
I literally like
Okay.
I only need to like piss like twice a day.
That's really unhealthy. There's something wrong with you.
No, that's actually like some people don't even shit like once a day. Sometimes they
I mean,
shit
that's
like
fine, but pissing
but-
is like a really regular thing. You should
No.
definitely be doing that more than twice a day.
not really. It's you can have if your body manually does that. You only need to do like 2 or 3 times a day at most. Not most, but the
The
least amount.
fuck?
Sometimes you have a
Crack
lot.
cocaine are you on right now, boy?
Literally, look it up. Like average piss amount a day. Well, I don't
Chat,
want to know how
many
much.
times do you piss a day?
It generally equates to 6 to
Obviously,
8
give it a guess.
every 24 hours. So I mean, I don't really equate
Yes, you
midnight
can say about
peeing.
6 or 7.
It says 6 to 8, not 6 to 7.
I'm talking to chat, bro. I'm waiting for their response. I'm eagerly awaiting to find out.
It says, while the typical adult urinates 6 to 8 times a day, going only 3 times can be completely normal if you feel comfortable and stay well hydrated.
You keep yourself dehydrated? Yeah. Why,
I said well
dude?
well hydrated. I just said, not
I'm
dehydrated. It usually depends on your fluid intake, diet, and bladder size. I have a big bladder, so not really big. I don't even know what the size is. How do you
Okay,
even
pal.
determine how big your bladder is?
You know who probably has a big bladder and pees 4 to 6 times a day? Ryan. I can just make that assumption because he's a 7-foot man and must have a humongous bladder.
Height does not equate size of your organs. Just to let you know.
You want to bet? I've seen this man's penis before and it is huge.
But the average is
sorry,
if you have a
Ryan.
small
I
feet, you
shouldn't
have big
spread
dick.
slander about your dick. You're forgetting to drink water. Do you like drink anything else? Do you drink like soda, coffee, tea, milk? Just raw dog some milk.
Oh, I love raw doggy milk. Come on.
This the cave music. Why?
I know, it's so wise. At least like change it up, make it like different instruments or something.
Who likes this fucking loop? Is it just 'cause it probably takes up less space or some shit?
I don't even think it would be that. I think it's just like maybe it's just based off like what's the original game have that for this? I don't know.
This plays in Gen 2's Mount Moon, which you're in for like 5 seconds. It's really small in that game. It's also a really bad loop. It keeps stopping and then coming back.
Well, most of the music in this game doesn't have loops. It literally, you play through the whole song, it slows down, stops, and then starts over again. There's no, like, in a game like this, you're be able to do that because it's not limited to anything. It's Unity. That meaning that you can literally like read the loop points in the audio and then use your music player to do that. But they didn't do that. They're just using raw audio. Like, it's not that hard to use loop points.
You used to be a hiker. You were quite literally a hiker.
Well, he got shot in the arrow in the knee, so.
Alright, that's it. That's enough.
Da 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 da. Yeah, the flash activating is so weird. Also, if you have dig on them on, you could grab any of the holes. I've been able to getting a whole bunch of items.
Knows you have missed some high quality discussions today. We spoke about armpits, we spoke about feet, we spoke about getting pregnant.
Yeah, we also talk about Dakamuras.
Spoke about Dakimakuras for quite a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I never know how to say that.
I just want you to know, Snows, that today has been a very special day for if that's your kind of thing.
Yeah, it's been a fun time.
And if you hate that kind of discussion, like probably 90% of people that would watch this VOD will.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
What's up? He just took
Hey,
a
how's it
big
going?
NASA pee. You guys wanted
You
to know.
Yeah.
sound really high spirits and happy all of a sudden.
Were you
Tell me about it.
Were you pondering in there?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't happen to have done any activities recently.
No.
Nothing of the
Listen,
Walter White
If
variety.
anyone ever asks you why you do what you do. Just say, because it keeps my prostate healthy. Smiley face. What is this?
Great idea.
Yeah, we had a whole discussion about how going three times a day is like not healthy when it is a thing you can normally do. Your body naturally does sometimes.
It's very unhealthy to not pee often in the day. Very unhealthy.
If you've
Freakish.
always done that, if your body is naturally just I only pee in 3 times a day, that is
I'm
natural.
dumb and keep my once a day. Crazy.
Yeah, that's not healthy. at
All right,
all.
now that one is
Bad.
that one's a little finicky there. I don't think you do once a day.
Jordy just DM'd me and said, "How was stream?"
You should just be honest. You should just tell him everything that's happened today.
It's still going.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like
we're-
you should just like
We're still chilling.
you should just like tell him the honest truth.
Oh wait, can't.
What
Wait.
is that supposed to mean?
Tell him all the details. Tell him everything that was discussed today.
Tell them the
I don't
romantic
remember
fling that you
anything
just
other
had.
than the feet thing.
Literally right there, 3:20 a.m. from Ryan. Danny Breadjich. Right there.
Yep, true.
Should tell him he's a pee-pee poo-poo head. Are you 12?
True. He is a
That is a pretty
poopy
good thing
head.
to tell someone out of the blue, though. You have to admit.
You are a beep beep poo poo head. It does hurt their feelings really hard, surprisingly.
I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd probably pee like 6 times a day. Maybe 7.
Boo.
This guy thinks he's funny.
No, genuinely, though, that is probably about my estimate.
I
mean,
probably go like
honestly-
8 times.
I think it's for me. It's probably like 3 to 4 times.
I will literally go like
What's
every
that
2 hours almost.
That's about
it's
what
a-
it should be, too, actually.
and it's- and
Shit,
it's-
Shit, urine head.
And it's not even like
shit, shit,
I'm
shit,
holding
Sahor.
my pee. It's just like I feel like oh I have to go pee. All right, I'm gonna go pee.
Shit, 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 Sahurin.
Shit, shit, shitty, shitty, bang, bang. Shit, shitty, 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 pissy.
Shit's a her.
That's what I said. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking about
I-
that one.
I had a dream
Okay.
the other night where like someone broke into my house and it was the whatever her thing, and it was like
Chat
Like, we're-
chat GBT.
no whatever
What were you
you're
gonna say?
the thing you were talking about. The the
How can you
the
dream about
si-
a thing you don't even know the name of?
I can't think of the I can't say the name. Like what is it called? I can't. The cinnamon dude. The AI cinnamon dude.
AI cinnamon dude? What?
Yeah, the guy that he was the brain rot memes guy.
People say I'm not.
Tongue's her?
Yeah, that dude, him.
The cinnamon dude?
He looks like the cinnamon, the apple and cinnamon toast.
Yes, yeah, no, I get you now. I understand.
He was coming up the stairs and like they were freaking out like, oh my god, who's that guy? I don't know. And I got the bat and then I woke up.
The AI cinnamon dude.
He broke into my house in my dreams.
Tongue, sir, her broke into my house.
Like I don't even know why that happened. Like it was like in between me waking up and then I fell back to sleep and then that happened. Then it really woke me up. I'm like, oh my god. It was like that passing like wake the fuck up my body would do. Ew. Surf looks like the slowpoke just jizzed on me. Man, that's
Slowpoke jizzed on you?
that silence was deafening.
That
But yeah.
silence was Suzuka.
It was like the surf
Rub it in more,
and
yeah.
move. It's like, oh my god.
I have silence Suzuka and you don't.
I'm gonna get an RE1 before you do.
Why would you let a slowpoke do that? I didn't mean to. It just did.
Sorry, Danny, that was mean.
What did you say?
Nothing at all.
Chat,
Can't
clip
believe-
that.
I can't believe you said that, Jitch. That was so mean.
Troy, what's something about Cheernady?
It wasn't because I don't even dare stoop that low.
I don't even
I
know what you
know how
said.
much that irritated you. So like, I don't.
Don't worry, I'm ready to shell out hundreds of dollars to make sure I get Inari 1 this time. I'm not gonna let her slip between my fingers.
I mean, you still have nice nature. That's the difference. I guess.
Yeah, a ball boy.
That's why it doesn't bother me that much, because I have a nice nature. If I don't get this Inari 1, I won't have one until the banner that comes like September or October.
And listen, even though you may
Damn,
not
I
agree,
killed
I
it.
think nice nature's default outfit looks better anyway.
I'm pretty sure I
True.
also said that.
Then why did you want the cheerleader so much?
Because it's
brown
nice
color.
nature.
Oh,
It's more natty for my video game. I found a light
Yeah.
clay. What the fuck does light clay do?
180 for your baby.
Makes your Pokemon lighter, I believe.
It makes screens last 8 turns instead of
Oh,
5.
it's that. Alright, what one's the one that makes it lighter? Is
You're
that
just
like
talking.
maybe a light powder? Maybe.
Imagine polling for your favorites. Yeah. I totally didn't just bomb 5,000 carrots today trying to pull Inari 1 and not get her.
Yeah, I caught a Bronzor. He was buried in a hole.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I love Bronzor.
What, Bronzor?
Yeah,
I don't
Bronzor's
like
pretty
that
good.
Pokemon.
Bronzor's neat.
He's just a cool little fella. Ooh, 2 fairy gems. 1 Pokeball.
Well,
2
I think we should
Pokeballs.
all save. We should all get an RE1, and then we should all save for next week and get Sweet Tosho as well.
No,
Ryan's
once
not
I
going to even
pull
log
you-
into it when we're
Once I
next
pull
week.
Inari 1, I don't know what the next character I want to pull for is.
You know what's sweet?
Citrus berry.
Depends on how hard it is to get Inari 1.
That's
Because I would rather pull Inari 1 and then save for some supports.
that's fine. I want sweet.
Sweet.
Ryan has been like getting more and more angry as next week approaches. So I'm
I
warning you
could
now,
live
he
without Sweep. She's alright though, but
might just kill someone next week when Sweep drops.
Shuttle Mario SSR, then Sea King the Pearl. Did you watch that video, Crazy? that I sent?
Wait, what do you mean shuttle?
Hikey Shuttle, I'm assuming.
1 Pokemon left.
No, I know, but like, oh, is there like there's an event version of Pokemon up, right? I think.
Gloom is
current
trying to
build,
learn Moonblast. Okay, bro.
That's a cool move.
Well, I don't use this Gloom, so it's not going to learn it.
Yeah, Crazy told me before that Seeking of Pearl is his favorite, so
Billy.
I think that's a good choice, honestly. You don't see a lot
Yeah,
of love
Zeke
for Seeking
Pro is
of Pearl.
cool.
I like Seeking.
This guy thinks he's real funny.
Seeking the Pokemon is mid.
No. Seeking's cool.
Boring design. Boring.
It's one of the
It's
better
Fucking
designs.
Fish.
It's just a regular ass fish.
Well, it's better than a regular ass bird.
Alright, I'm in the tunnel.
Guy trying to strong man right now.
I mean, a lot of Gen 1 mons are just a literal ass thing. Don't you love that
You
music?
get to
Don't you
hear
love
this
that sound?
Whole time we're in this long ass tunnel.
Well, unless you're in a battle, then you don't hear that, which is
Oh, I
nice.
soft locked the game again after restart it.
What
Nice.
did you do?
I did the thing where you step into a trainer's sightlines on the same time that you step into a wild encounter and it just soft locks the fucking game.
Stop
How
doing that,
did you
brother.
specifically keep doing
Like
that?
I haven't been doing that
That's
at
the
all.
second time that's happened.
You
I don't
must
know
got-
how I've done that twice. That's like really low odds.
Yeah, maybe because you're on Linux.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to, because I would
Yeah,
be
the
like,
Linux-
I hope you know,
Using Linux is changing the fucking RNG of the
I
wild
hope you know I
encounters.
am purely saying that facetiously.
yeah. I was like,
I
I
hope
was,
you know I am having intercourse with Rice
With me?
Shower as we speak.
Whoa, 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 buddy.
Hold on
Whoa,
now.
buddy.
Don't get ahead of yourself. I don't know
This
who that
Rattler
is.
just used self-destructive 1 HP left and almost killed me.
Is this the way it's going? I don't even remember anymore. I hate when a battle
Oh
takes.
my
I just
God.
hit level
I forget where it
40.
was going.
There's so many trainers.
Monk?
I feel like level 40 with only the 3rd badge is a little high.
Yeah.
Do I have any?
The
rare
trainers are
candies?
matching it though.
Wait, do rare
This
candies
trainer's
revive
level
them on?
30. They
Oh, they
should
do.
if it was
It
a real
does.
Pokemon game.
It
Okay.
does. Yeah, it brings it to half in HP and all that.
That's a
Which
good
is-
point, Crazy. Danny, you might be able to catch a Mew if you keep this up.
Oh yeah, do the long range trainer glitch.
You're playing very realistic Gen 1 right now.
Oh wait, I
Gen
just
1
realized
was
I
my
used a
balloon.
revive, not a rare candy. I'm stupid.
Ow!
All right, let's see what a rare candy does now.
Danny has like a shock taser, like collar connected to him, and every time his Pokemon take damage, he goes, "Ow!"
All right,
'cause
no,
it really
rare,
hurts him.
rare candies do not
I have a
revive.
butt plug.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Sometimes we connect.
With the butt plug?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
one of those
I
ones
got
where
it.
you can like connect to the other person.
I got a Charizard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We like wrestle
We
each
haven't
other's
done-
prostates. What am I talking
Yeah.
about?
I haven't
What
done that
the
in a while, but
What
yeah,
are you saying?
good old days.
I need to go to
Wrestling each other's
bed.
prostates. Oh, dude, that was awesome. What are you talking about?
Wing attack. Okay.
I heard that's a funny thing you could do with that in Archipelago.
Oh my god.
I'll get rid of this one. We don't need that. All right, there we go. Got myself a Charizard. He's a
Was it
big
Danny's
boy.
on Bluetooth? Yeah.
This guy has a Charmander, and I have a Charizard. That's funny.
I'm putting on a repel so that shit doesn't happen again.
That's still one of my favorite memories from streaming. One time when I was streaming Undertale, I was trying to set up my Bluetooth controller, and when I searched for Bluetooth devices near me, someone's Lavender was on.
Yeah.
And it was
That-
there for a long fucking time, too.
Did you pair with it?
Ryan kept telling me to pair with it and play some Limp Bizkit.
Play a chocolate starfish through it.
Yeah,
That'd be
That would
funny.
be
good stuff.
fitting,
It would be.
considering what it is.
We should play put a Black Friday. Wait, what? Black Friday? No, Rebecca Black Friday on it.
Dude, that's weird. Oh.
That's funny.
Put like scary monsters and nice sprites or some shit.
Yeah, that'd
Holy
be a good
fuck,
one.
That'd be awesome. You guys give me ideas for my love ends now.
A drop and you just like ejaculate all over. What am I saying? Why am I
feel like
talking the way I am?
Using one of those and just listening to music would honestly probably be a really weird experience.
Do that,
Or-
but also be on LSD during it.
Do that or
Mm.
yeah, do that and play chess while doing it. You like my Charizard, Jitch?
Archipelago. That's Joy. No, I don't like your Charizard. Why does he look like that? Fucking freak.
I am considering muting the
This is
game's
so-
music.
That's just so
You know what? I will. I'm gonna mute the game's music for now. I muted the game's soundtrack. I'm gonna put my own
That's-
music on.
Honestly, a good idea, yeah.
I mean, we're almost out of the cave, so I don't mind it.
I am at the beginning of the damn cave.
Oh well,
This
good
is
luck.
probably not even the real exit, considering there's a nurse Joy right next to it. It wouldn't make sense for this to be the exit if there's a
Alright, time
nurse
to
Joy
put on
there.
Umapure Densetsu
I
instead.
think that might be
Dude,
a
that's
false
exactly the
nurse
song
joy.
I was gonna say to put on. I'm not even fucking joking.
Why don't you like this
Ow!
5-second loop?
It was so loud.
See, I
It
enjoy
was
it.
the loudest thing I've ever heard. Last Lolita is fighting me.
Yeah, I saw that.
I can't find the ladder. The ladder is like 1 foot away from you.
They don't have
I
flash.
really need
That's
to
the
keep an eye on
implication.
how loud I'm being. I keep forgetting it's 3 in the morning for me.
Imagine you can connect to the Love and Swim back scene.
I didn't know about vaccine back then.
Just do an entire Uma Musume run hooked up to the Lovins.
Oh, I died.
Alright.
Time to
I'll
head
have
back
put
to the
mine on
Poke Center.
charge first.
Oh, I lost $1,337. That's not so elite. Alright, let's head on through. And
My Breloom is starting to catch up in level.
that's good.
I have to have 3.
Yeah, you
Hear
have to
me
dig
out.
us
What
the
do you
holes.
What do you got, Ryan? You connect to it.
Flash. There we go. Oh, cool. The holes actually don't respawn, so they are permanently emptied.
You do a drum roll.
Drum roll, please. Do I have a repel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that coming off the Lovins. Ah, I didn't know if that would kill or not. It's okay, we kill this turn.
It's Picnic of Martha. Bulbasaur
think
can
I have
run
a
Flash.
repel.
That's great. That's great, pal.
At least I
I'm
get to
happy
look at
for
my
you.
my Charizard. He'd be flapping and kind of cute.
Worry Seed, we don't need that. Mind
I'm gonna
Reader,
go
we don't
back
need
further
that.
in. I'm gonna go back further into the cave rather than leaving. I know I'm at the exit, but this train is to battle still, so I'm gonna do it.
Battle them trainers. Charizard.
To get that X-Pussy.
X. You love me.
Oh.
I love you. We are all in the great big blue.
Guys, you need to go watch Danny stream instead of mine so you can listen to Opioid Densetsu for me.
You gotta listen to it for him, yeah.
Yeah, because I can't listen to it right now.
Yeah, me neither. I'm
Yeah,
kind of
I
like
mean, I guess I
can't.
could.
my brain's kind of like running out of
true.
like steam. It's been melting during the whole stream, as you can probably tell.
My brain's always melting. One day I will not have any brain left.
You guys have brains?
I mean, usually my brain is in as high capacity, like how I slept, like all that, and then waking up early. It is really like he doesn't want to be functioning right now.
Doesn't want Sahara to be functioning right now.
No, that's why Kung Fu Baller.
Huh? Tongue.
That's when the AI fucks up halfway through a sentence.
What?
What?
Yeah. Oh, fuck me. Ugh, stretch.
Chip Away's a pretty good move, right? I don't know if I should get rid of that for Rock Slide.
That WWE video is so funny.
What?
Whoa.
Oh. No, I guess it's probably not.
He just fucking choke on his own tongue.
Choked on his tongue to her.
Yeah, tongue.
Desmond is fucking losing it.
This is what happens when I get really tired. I get really loopy.
Friends call me a Pookie Nerd. ...
Well, what's his class name? Pokenerd? Probably.
Hey, what time do you have to like go to sleep for what?
Me?
Yeah.
Like an hour.
Okay.
Damn it.
Why?
Because that means you're gonna be leaving soon.
I gotta go to work at like 9, so...
My funny
Oh my
guy.
god, I'm dead. I want to go to bed at about 1 a.m., which means I should leave here at about midnight.
Sounds good.
And it's 10:40 right now. The Slowpoke is rocking my shit.
But he's a water
Okay.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Ah, you think you're a real funny
Dude,
guy,
that
don't
was
you?
fucking depressing. I beat him and he was like, "Who am I kidding? I have no friends."
That's relatable. Oh, I'm
All
tired.
right, fuck you then. I guess.
Yeah,
I'll
we're
leave.
we're strictly on business.
Business partners.
We're not actually friends.
Yeah, this is all just a performance.
Yeah, this is all fuckery.
This is not who I am at all. This is all a lie. I don't know these people. I don't really talk like this when I'm not streaming. This isn't even my real voice. That's why I went robotic earlier, because my like voice filter.
Yeah, that's your voice.
Fucking
Yeah, his AI was
Yeah.
glitching out.
This
I don't know why I
streamer,
don't just go
this
for a girl
streamer's
voice. It might get
filter,
more viewers.
this streamer's filter turned off and lost 10,000 viewers.
Hiker clock. Why are you using a parasect if you're a hiker?
Because bugs
not?
love to be on your cock or something.
You
I don't know.
need to
What?
learn to limit yourself to your trainer class. And
You need
not
to
do
learn to
things-
not talk about dumb shit, Alizarin.
Hey,
you
you're
say
one
it,
to
and you know.
you're one to talk.
He said
Okay.
because bugs love to be on your cock.
That's why they're.
This guy says armpits are weird and then starts talking about that. What the fuck?
Dude hates armpits, but we'll talk about bugs on you, dude.
What was that? Oh fuck. Oh, you can tell like when I'm tired, I just say fuck a lot. Ha 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 ha.
You want to think to leave now so you can stop playing this? Dude, I love hanging out with Danny. I hang out with Danny all the fucking time.
Yeah, we chill.
What about lotion on that dick?
They keep the
Choke on
bugs
that
away.
shit.
See that keeps the bugs away.
Set the bugs on your dick.
Put the lotion on your dick to keep the bugs away.
I don't like this one.
I'm
I know I
stroking
said
my
that
shit.
he was being no to things, but like this one I'm putting my foot down on. Nah,
Okay.
You don't like bugs on your dick?
I do not like. I've seen art of that and I do not like it.
What do you
No.
mean you've seen art of that? Ew.
Like wasps and shit.
Like just like really gross like bug stuff. It's
That's
not
like the
nice.
that's like the peak of Pixiv though.
That's like stuff that I've seen purely because I was scrolling somewhere and it was there, and not because I ever wanted to even know it existed.
Just happenstance.
It's just in with everything else, and you're like, okay, new thing to add a filter that I don't want in my feed.
Not laughing. Hey,
Level
hey, that's how I
34
feel.
Charmander, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I saw that, and I was like, killed it with my Charmeleon, or not my Charizard.
I don't even remember finding a Charmander. I must have missed a trainer in there.
Are you out of the cave?
Yeah, we're both
Yeah.
out.
I'm about to be out.
I feel like that's the kind of place where like it's kind of hard to go out of your way to fight every trainer, because sometimes you don't
Yeah.
even know if you're going the right or wrong way.
That's why I made the decision to just not fight everyone I thought I was going to, and then I'm like, this is too complicated.
I'll do it everywhere else, but not in a cave.
Caves are just annoying. There's too many winding paths and different floors and ladders and shit.
Yeah.
And also, I'm already
not
in the level. I'm in like my 40s, so my levels are fine.
Yeah, I'm just about in 40.
I got a level
Why is that
41
just
Nita
40?
King.
We got a level 41 Blastoise.
Oh, I'm tired.
Yeah, we've established that. I think.
I know,
He's
it's
trying
like-
to say he wants us to stop. He's like,
No, I don't want to
"Stop,
stop. I'm just like when I get tired, I get yappy of that
Get your
tired.
steam."
It's like my eyes are actually my right eye is
Eye.
watering.
I am Steve.
Wait, not that.
Steve.
I
Thanks.
am Steve.
Chicken jockey.
Chicken
What do you want to know? Well, we are all very evenly matched here, then.
Chicken jockey. I am Skeletor.
Alright, I'm out of the stupid cave.
Congratulations.
Oi.
Now come fight all the trainers outside of it.
Yeah,
And I
like
can
a
also
bunch.
put the game music back on.
Aww.
Yay.
For Umakioi.
No more Umakioi.
No more happy. I'm cooking a bird alive.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Bug buzz. That sounds like a good move.
Is that like
Bug
when a
buzz.
bug
That's setting
drinks
on
too
my
much
loved ones.
alcohol?
Bug buzz on this dick.
What?
What is with you, man? What is with you?
That was a good one though.
When he gets sleepy, he lets out his bug fetish.
Yeah. I'm gonna start DMing him some stuff.
No, I don't. I do not want to see that.
Nasty.
No. Oh, I've seen
Let
enough
them
of that. I
awesome
hate
rock.
it. Ugh,
You
God.
were just acting like you'd never heard of it before when I mentioned it. What do you mean?
No, I didn't say I never heard of it. I said I don't know why you're
You were
looking at
acting
it.
so like shocked and stunned and like repulsed. I didn't even mention seeing it. And now
Because
you're
it
like,
is,
"Oh,
it's
I've seen it
disgusting."
before." Liar.
I've seen it like in like manga panels on Pixiv where they have like bottles full of ants.
I've
Okay,
seen
I've
the.
not seen that, and I'd like to keep it that way.
It's the weird like giant bug stuff that's so fucking weird.
Well,
ones
like the
that-
human-sized bugs.
The human-sized bugs that are trying to breed of humans, and then like have the babies come out. That's
This is a great conversation topic.
He didn't just give it a glimpse. He like fully fucking read like a.
Yeah,
demon or
he
something.
analyzed. He learned. He studied this shit.
Can't deny that.
Well, you should learn to deny that.
Yeah,
You
that's
should
not a
you
good
should
one.
practice saying no. Fuck this Beedrill.
I killed a drowsy.
Why is Rock Slide not super effective to Skarmory? I think it should be.
Because it resists it with steel, I think.
Steel resists rock?
Doesn't it?
I have
I
no
thought
idea.
steel was weak to rock. What happens if you throw rock at steel?
It
Funny
bounces.
then.
It bounces.
Well, AI overview says rocks like quartz, which sit roughly at a 7 on the Mohs hardness scale, can resist rock. That's not what I fucking asked.
Why did you?
I'm gonna go to Bulbapedia. Yeah, steel resists rock.
Oh, it's
Wait,
ground
so-
steel's weak.
See the thing that
Yeah, so
trips
if
me
it's
up.
steel flying, it'll be neutral because of the way the game works.
See what trips me up is that fighting types are super effective against steel.
Yeah, because you can punch a steel.
Well, didn't you know? Matcha
Can you?
punches melt steel
Can you?
beams.
Can you now?
Yeah.
I don't think any of us can punch steel here and break it or damage it.
The side throw is rocking my shit.
Oh, we got some police story up here.
My Fugi's just broke. Okay, they're back.
I'm gonna be boring and put the Fugis back to normal now.
Okay. you
Crazy's
do
gonna like scream.
We'll see.
that. Well, we're in. They used a horrible song for Lavender Town. They're not using the good one.
Can redeem it again. Yeah, I guess. I suppose.
There's a ghost lady over here in the corner. Oh, there's a tile error. Nice. Shout out to the tile errors.
The police is from Celadon City.
Oh, hey,
The
Luigi's here.
polices.
Luigi's cool. Oh, Meg was here
We're going
though.
to go see
Ew.
the polices.
All right, the name. Whoa, what the hell is happening in here? Clothes salesman and hat salesman. We can buy some clothes here. Oh, it's not really anything fancy. It's just the same
Wow, this
clothes that
place
you
is
have.
So scary. Love these Gen 3 graves they put on this really high resolution area. Looks good.
Yeah, it's very clean. Yeah. Huh.
Let me
really
see
blends.
this.
Oh, I can wear a fedora.
Lavender
Nice.
Oh,
is
wow,
really
I love
good.
these mixels.
Yeah,
You're gonna-
beautiful. Oh, and then they have other graves that don't look like the Gen 3 ones, just to mix it up, you know?
Yeah, just to change it, make them look a little different.
The
Well, this is
polices
how
from
you
Celadon
get. This is
City.
how you get a Jenga.
You're gonna love coming into this building and looking at the candles in this tent. It's gonna look awesome. Ooh, strange noises. Better walk away.
This music makes me think of how old and sad I am. Pumpkin
Yeah,
King.
I like to note the music broke when I went to one of the buildings. It's no longer playing.
That's just the game getting more and more spooky.
Oh,
Soon,
it's a
hyper realistic
vampire.
blood will begin pouring from your monitor.
But they sell clothes here, and you can buy them with not real life money.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna
Become
buy
the
this.
Kanto champ first. Okay.
You are buying a skull hat for 300 points. Would you
They
like
can
to
sell-
proceed?
they
Yes.
sell beanies here.
Oh, it's for
I like
Halloween points.
beanies. I
You
normally
notice the
wear a
how
beanie.
big those candles are in that thing, like the pixels of them.
Oh yeah, this
My,
game's really good about that.
yeah, my
The
child. I
pixels.
believe this place is not safe for you yet. Okay, well I guess we can't do that either. I guess this is a walk by and not do anything in this town. Actually, wait. What does the police officer say? If there was police officers here. We've had reports of strange
polices.
hooded individuals.
Police's officer.
Yeah, gathering in the cemetery to the northwest. Northwest, okay. Alright, so I guess we're going north. Or west. Well,
Hey,
whatever.
Can we not do Pokemon Tower yet?
Yep, we can't. So we have to go west.
Maybe I want to look for myself.
Okay, you're gonna get told no. What's
We
a
fight
cute and
Pokemaniac Herman.
What's a cute, round, and fluffy Pokemon? Jigglypuff. Oh, it's a fairy.
Cool RPG maker noise. Thank you.
Yeah, this game's good about that. Do you love your RPG maker noises? This game's for you.
Damn, these clothes are expensive.
And they're also all eh. Mamma mia. Oh, another Clefairy. Clefairy's not round. Clefairy's star-shaped. Stop gaslighting me.
I can wear a beanie. Not a beanie, a fedora like Bankara.
Oh, yeah. La 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 la.
Oh, that's just what I'm wearing already. Okay.
I'm gonna go
Like
look
your-
at the spooky, scary area.
It's not that spooky. and
It's really
not that
scary how bad it looks.
There's probably some cool Pokemon here.
There's Jingle.
And
Jingle?
Jingle,
Yeah,
jangle.
He evolves into Hantu.
Fuck are you saying?
Goofa.
Goofa?
Goofa. It is funny how,
just
like, when I get
realized-
tired, I just ramble.
Can you not sell shit anymore?
I don't think so. The shit that you have
Where
is
do
the
you
shit
get
that
the
you have.
nugget that you got? Oh. never
Oh,
mind.
wait, there's certain
You
people
don't
that buy
have
them.
the nugget.
You sell those nuggets to the guy that were
That's
the-
right. That's
the
correct.
Misty place.
That is indeed. That is yes. That is true. Prize vendor.
Mm-hmm.
A Jastly.
It's more inconvenient to the player. You love to see that. Go to this random town and sell your random nonsense. Not every mart will buy it. Kadabra in my Alakazam? No way.
Old Man Jenkins. Isn't that a SpongeBob reference?
That is a Scooby-Doo reference.
There's an Old Man Jenkins and everything, dog.
Probably. It is not illogical.
I hear strange noises coming from here. Yeah, I went into this house, and I just heard this.
Yeah, it's
It
very
sounded
strange.
scary, so I walked away.
Who's
I
orgasming in
heard
my
a
ear?
sound coming from this house. I was like, "Ooh, I hope you'll be showing your pussy tonight, baby."
Oh, that is
You
very
just yelled
strange.
that out at me.
Why would you say that? Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
right
I will
here.
be wanking my cock.
I'll
You
be
got
wanking my
fucking naked.
cock. You gotta go.
Alright,
you
there's
gotta-
like nothing in the graveyard area worth anything.
I'm
yeah.
fighting the trainers on
I
the
expected
route
that.
to the south now.
The south.
No, it
I
said
don't
Yeah,
do
'cause
that
then-
for a while.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but if you leave it for later, their levels are normally really fucking low and worthless, whereas right now it's just nice XP.
I guess.
That's why I normally do this area. It's not like you can really do that much. There's normally only like 3 trainers down here. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be like in this game, but normally it's only like 3 trainers. I like XP. I like
I
this
like-
basic ass seeking being basic and ass.
I had like the PP.
Yeah, you like the PP?
Yeah. They go
What
in the
kind?
toilet.